What's up? It is Saturday, and we all know Saturdays are for horses, but it is very, very hot today. There's Johnny. How you doing? He's like, I'm chilling in my stall where it's nice and cool, and you're here to mess with me and make me go outside. And he's right. What are you doing? All right, why don't you go ahead and grab him and let's get his legs stretched and warmed up for a very quick ride because it is so warm. The fans are on, trying to help keep the barn cool. And here's Johnny. So for this episode, we are going to address one of our most frequently asked questions. How much do horses cost? This little guy right here is cute, but he'll take all your money. We are supposed to be tacking up, and instead someone's over there playing on their Instagram stories. Yeah, thanks for the help. People don't like talking about money, but everything costs money, so I guess it's a conversation we should get used to having. And I can only tell you about my experience with horses, so keep in mind that everyone else's story will be different, everyone else has different costs, but I can tell you what I've gone through in our, how long have we been doing horses? Like since she was 5, 9 years? We are first generation horse people. There is no family line that's taught us about horses. Everything we have learned pretty much on the go through a lot of trial and error. Emphasis on the error. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Horse lessons. When little Froggy, aka Bella, first asked for horseback riding lessons, I just went on Google and Googled horseback riding lessons near me, found the closest barn to my house, and it kind of worked out. Lessons were $30 and it was for about 30 minutes. You showed up, the horse was already ready, you rode, you got off, handed it back to the instructor, and you were on your way.
Saddle seat completely spoiled us because dressage is nothing like that.
Our saddle seat lessons have cost from around $30 to $40 over our horse career, and dressage lessons have been about $65. Now remember, prices will vary depending on where you are, who your instructor is, and how many muddles they have won. With the dressage lessons, you are expected to tack up your horse, then ride for about an hour, then cool down the horse. The whole process can take about 2 hours.
After riding for a year, we leased a lesson horse.
Our barn had a great program where you could lease a lesson horse for about $250 a month. Why lease a horse, you may ask?
When you lease a horse, it's like having your own horse, except for it's cheaper than buying a horse. And it's like you want to lease a horse instead of taking lessons if you really want to feel like you have your own horse and it's the only horse that you could, or you're the only person who rides a horse at horse shows. And when you take lessons, usually you're on that horse and everybody knows, oh, that's the horse that you leased.
Then we took it a step further and leased a private horse, which cost a lot more. That horse cost, I want to say about $400 a month. Yeah, the price was definitely going up. Now the cost of leasing will totally fluctuate depending on the owner, the barn, the training of the horse, the metals, all that kind of stuff. I had a friend who told me that they were leasing a pony for $3,000 a month. You know how many dolls we can buy for $3,000 a month? Not today!
Now the next step from leasing a horse is buying a horse. Some people will ask, why would you buy a horse if you could just lease a horse? Well, when you lease a horse, the owner can take back the horse at the end of the lease, and you don't really have any say about it because it's their horse. So that's you'd be training this horse and creating this bond with this horse, and it's not even really yours. So after the 6 or 7 months that you lease the horse, they can just take it back, which always is not fun to think about. So that's why when you buy a horse, it's like really yours, and like it's just the feeling of really owning it, and it's like really your horse, and no one can really take it away from you. There is a lot to owning a horse. Number one, you're not responsible for taking care of him,
which means boarding, shots, farrier, some kind of fly protection program, blankets, sheets. Look, $26 for fly spray. Shampoo, ointments, tack. The list very quickly adds up. Johnny doesn't wear shoes, so we save a little bit of money there. It's about $45, sometimes $50 for a trim, and that's every 6 weeks. What's a trim? It's pretty much a pedicure for a horse. Now, if you own your own land, you can reduce a lot of the costs because you don't have to worry about paying for boarding. But we board because we can't put him in our backyard. So, yeah. The cost of boarding will vary greatly. Fancy barns have fancy prices. Barns with instructors on the property will cost more. They might not, depending on what that barn wants to charge. If it's just plain putting your horse in a pasture, you're gonna pay a lot less. If you want to stall, sometimes it costs more. Then do they blanket your horse? Do they deworm your horse? There's all these little factors that come into play when getting a price for boarding. I would say a fair price range is about $450 to $700. If lessons are included, it's gonna cost a lot more. So you could expect almost like $1,000 if you got like full training. Yeah, it gets up there. Shots. We pay for shots about twice a year, anywhere from $75 to $250, and that depends on if we've got to get his teeth floated or not. So, yeah, that's pretty much all his bills, and I say all very loosely because that's a lot of bills. All right, let's try to get this. Stop. Johnny, don't do that. Come on, let go. But there is just something amazing about horses. The connection, the smell. Yes, I like the way horses smell. And watching them move. They're just so beautiful. And I think we should have more conversations about money. Because if everyone has the same information, we can make better choices. I pay $300 for horse lessons.
What? That's way too much. I pay $40.
Seriously? Yeah, withholding information like that only helps the sellers. It doesn't help the buyers. Because of the cost, having a horse is definitely not a decision to take lightly. But I've got to say, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
She's getting down. Oh, you didn't die this time.
Thank you for joining us for this Fabsome Horses.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at my Frog Stuff and the Frog Vlog.
And we will see you next time. Bye! What are you doing? Did you just... Are you putting the Supreme hip bag on the horse? Notice I said hip bag. Why are you doing that to poor Johnny? Oh, poor guy.